I had expected to need more defense for Kind Mita, but damn, now Cappie's also being tossed under the bus? Yeah, I think I might have to expand on Kind Mita's situation in another video, so just make sure you're subscribed if you don't want to miss that. And while you're there, please also hit that like button while I give the spoiler warning, because if you didn't already know, spoilers up ahead. We're going to assume Kind Mita is pretty much on our side for now, since that's what most evidence points towards. You can check out that video here in the info card, which will contain some of my initial inputs that I seem to now have to elaborate on. Anyways, quick summary, she told us the truth when scanning us for being a cartridge. What she said about ugly Mita is true. She wants to help out every other Mita, not just herself, and she doesn't have much to gain in this scenario. Actually, most of these Mitas have nothing to gain, and we've seen repeated suffering across multiple versions, which is another indication that they're probably not teaming up with Crazy Mita. Like, I'm not going to cosplay a tatami mat to help you out regardless of who you are. Now, I know some of you still have doubts about Kind Mita, so more analysis on her will be coming soon, but since it's more likely that she's on our side, we'll be assuming that approaching this theory today. What is it this time, you ask? Great question. Take a look at Cappie's reaction to Kind Mita. She went from happy to frowning immediately, and her glaring eyes looked almost shocked, if not concerned. Then, Cappie looks at you once before plopping down, presumably exhausted, and continues to glance at you throughout Kind Mita's conversation. But here's the tricky part. When Kind Mita says she may be fuzzy, but her mind works quickly, we can clearly see a nod from Cappie, indicating she agrees. Then, when Kind Mita dropped the bomb, Cappie shakes her head as if she's in denial. She then shakes her head again when Kind Mita mentions that you get reset to factory settings if you get rendered lifeless. Very odd interactions, and very clearly done purposefully, as Cappie's reaction to these specific phrases stay very consistent throughout different playthroughs. These interactions seem to have led some to believe that Cappie didn't lose her memories and was hiding that fact for some reason, like maybe being afraid of Kind Mita. So I'll clear this up now since I've only slightly touched on this in my last video, but the gist of it is that since Kind Mita is an official Mita, she's no longer a dummy, which is clearly different from Crazy Mita, and also why you get a little dose of ketchup here. Essentially, Crazy Mita couldn't have been Kind Mita. So with that out of the way, it means Cappie really doesn't have much of a reason to be hiding information in the first place. And if Cappie was working for Crazy Mita, then Cappie wouldn't even have bothered to give you any warning at all. But let's just say that she was still afraid of Kind Mita somehow, or some random other reason like Kind Mita forced her to stay quiet, or they were in this together or something. You see, I'm really reaching for something here, but regardless, another problem occurs. Cappie's reactions are way too limited. Let's look at this reaction, which denies the fact that Mitas lose their memory after factory reset. As mechanics in games usually stay consistent, the same should go for players, right? So why didn't she react the same way when Kind Mita said the same happens for players as cartridges? Sure, maybe it could somehow be different, let's go with that. Maybe Cappie was referring to her own memories, but no reaction to having to change the route on the ring, change the entire plan, no reaction to the portal, no reaction to I'll do my best if Kind Mita didn't plan to. I mean, if she knew the plan was never to use the portal, I think she indicated that too. The only thing that Cappie really reacted to was anything about her that was actually relevant to her. Her shaking head here could be like a that's crazy moment in shock. No way, I really lost a Crazy Mita. It could also just be that Cappie doesn't remember her untimely demise, which would just be more evidence that she forgot everything. Her head shake to she'll get reset to factory settings was also very delayed and timed more towards the which means our plan wouldn't work part, which could just be Cappie predicting that yeah, the plan won't work anymore because I don't remember crap. Here's an easier way to envision it. If we paused here and I asked you, we lost Cappie, will the plan still work? What will you gesture? Imagine if you just got murked by someone, didn't remember it at all, and then all of a sudden your doppelganger just randomly teleports into your house and starts urgently yelling at you out of nowhere. You'd probably be really concerned and confused too. And I'm willing to bet, with a hazy memory and no clue what's happening, you'd probably also shake your head, not believing that you just got respawned. Then, if you're listening to Kind Mita at all, and had a mind like Cappie's, I'm sure you could have followed her logic and would predict that the plan wouldn't work, perfectly accompanied by a head shake. Then, when Kind Mita continues rambling, Cappie could only observe since she didn't know enough about anything else to chime in with a reaction. She could barely stand still normally, so it's not a stretch. Matter of fact, it's almost expected that she'll be more active in a conversation than the average person. If Cappie really knew about the plan or some hidden information, I doubt she'll just stop at 2 head shakes. If she's communicating with you at all, then it means she knows she can get away with it. She would have continued. She could even talk to you in the other room or give more indication away from Kind Mita, but she never gave any other hints. As for why she glances or turns her head towards you, it's because Kind Mita's talking to you, or you're talking. Like, how awkward would it be staring into the side of someone's head the entire conversation when they're talking to someone else? You'll still look at them since they're talking, but you'll also be looking at the other person for the reaction, I hope. Speaking of which, Cappie even points out that she couldn't tell by your expression during that conversation if Kind Mita was just joking with her, because it is a lot of absurd events to take in. For all we know, she's just shaking her head because she doesn't believe any of this, and you can't really blame her because this is a very wild turn of events. This means she was watching your reaction to Kind Mita to confirm what she was saying and relying on both of you to gain information to see if this was just some huge prank you were pulling on her. She even chimes in, "You're really something, guys. I really should remember something," which shows that she thinks of you and Kind Mita as both in on something that she doesn't know, not the opposite. Maybe you're just joking around with her and she's trying to figure that out. In my opinion, it's a reasonable reaction to have in a scenario like this. Even the frowning as Kind Mita walks in. Put yourself in Cappie's shoes again. Imagine if your significant other walked into your room. That's like Cappie seeing the player, as she's programmed as a Mita to expect players and to take care of them, since keep in mind that this game is, at its core, still supposed to be a dating sim. So now imagine your girlfriend or boyfriend walk into your room. You'll be pretty happy, right? Jump out of your bed, excited to greet them, but then your doppelganger runs right in from behind them. That's already a red flag, but they know your name and are urgently pressing you to remember something? Bro, my smile about to be gone as well. Like, you're here as competition and I owe you something? Plus, Cappie even took Kind Mita's hand voluntarily when she offered it, so Kind Mita by no means was threatening to Cappie in any way. The only possible threat she could pose is being your wife. I'm going to say this again because the previous scenario might have been a bit confusing. My side, when it comes down to it, is still supposed to be a dating sim. Cappie, at factory settings, is looking to be with the player. She no longer knows who Kind Mita is. Even if they were friends in the past, she wouldn't remember, and instead will probably see Kind Mita as a friendly competition. She wouldn't know Crazy Mita exists at all. That's why Cappie gets sad when you leave, because Mitas are programmed to want you to stay. Even Crazy Mita understood this part. The same with Tiny Mita and Mila. Cappie is no different because she lost her memories and doesn't understand the urgency of the situation anymore. Kind Mita does, which is why she continues to press you to move on. You can see why Cappie might be a bit salty about this now, right? There's even more evidence of competition with the way Cappie tries to make herself look better than Kind Mita, convincing you that she's cooler. She never insults or throws any shade towards Kind Mita. She only tries to make herself more appealing, and maybe even gets off the bed away from Kind Mita as a joke. It could also just be done by the devs, just so you don't get stuck between the two Mitas, since you can't push them, but, you know, who knows. So why does Cappie remember there's a secret in the front door? I mean, probably because it's her house. Like, she still comes equipped with some knowledge. It's not like she's gonna be a baby and forgetting how to even speak. She'll still retain information about her house and whatnot, since that won't be classified as important information. It's not something that she learned outside of something that she's supposed to already know. Therefore, she knows what's beyond the front door, which is probably just empty space. She just doesn't want you to know about it, since you may feel trapped and want to leave even more, like how Crazy Mita had the same fear when she asked, "Is it because 4 rooms isn't enough?" Every time we somehow manage to open the quote-unquote front door, it's never even the front door anyways. Why would Cappie's room be any different? At most, you probably see an image or an error just like Crazy Mita's version, except maybe Cappie wanted to be funny and keep you guessing. She also keeps you guessing when scrolling through her inventory. Why does she have so many weapons? What would she need them for? Does she need to protect herself? Not really. These items in Cappie's inventories are each references to other games. Not because Cappie is violent, it's just an Easter egg. And as we already know, the devs love to put Easter eggs in the game, and you can find even more references throughout all of my side. And real quickly, for why this portal looks like Crazy Mita's portal, we know Cappie's mind works fast. If they've been battling Crazy Mita, it wouldn't surprise me they're stealing that tech from Crazy Mita and using it themselves, which is why the portals look similar. Plus, ain't nobody gonna design a brand new portal just for this sake. Keep in mind that this game was developed by 2 people, and there was already a lot to do as is. Also, on a side note, This couch that Cappie's supposed to move in here never got moved because she forgot about it. And while short-haired Mita might say, oh, it'll just be a few hours, short-haired Mita's eventually gonna find out the truth. She just hasn't yet. So that's why we tried to offer to help, but I guess we chose to not say anything about it. Another related theory I've seen is that all Mitas who change outfits are all against you, but that would take too long to squeeze in here with my other real life work that I have to do aside from my side theories. But don't worry, it will come eventually. A reminder to keep that notification bell on because I trust that if you enjoyed the content, you're already subscribed at this point. I did try compacting a lot of information into a linear story, so I know I definitely didn't answer all the points I've seen. Therefore, if you guys want to pitch in with more of your thoughts, go right ahead. And with that, I'll let you guys linger on the thoughts a little until I see you in the next one, or the comments. Goodbye!